Shock, anger, and horror. That is the reaction on social media to reports demonstrators were shot by soldiers in Nigeria amid protests over police brutality. The pain is being felt here in Metro Atlanta as well. Protesters gathered today outside the consulate of Nigeria in Sandy Springs, another planned at Centennial Olympic Park tonight. Witnesses in Lagos say several people were wounded and killed Tuesday when soldiers barricaded a toll gate and opened fire. The continuing protests there have largely focused on a unit known as SARS, which has been accused of torture and extortion. 10 days ago, the Inspector General announced the unit was being disbanded, but the protests have continued with calls for more widespread and reform. Advanced Nigeria organization is raising awareness in Metro Atlanta. Members say what's happening in Nigeria is a human rights issue that should not be tolerated anywhere.
Allowing injustice somewhere is going to create space for it to happen again somewhere else. You know, we can't. It's not acceptable anywhere.
We all have the right to say when our government is not providing the basic things that they're supposed to provide for us as citizens. We have the right to protest peacefully, and that there's no crime in that.
Right now, there is no confirmation on the number injured Tuesday. The state governor of Lagos is denying the reports, calling the shooting an isolated incident.